So you don't have time to consume an entire podcast, that's okay. Enjoy the highlights on TRS Clips. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon.
Let's take you back to my beginnings. They say that a soul's journey on this planet, in every new life, begins with circumstances. Being born in a particular family, therefore having to go through particular experiences, therefore having to develop a particular personality. It begins with the family you're born into. Both my parents are extremely spiritual people. Different schools of spiritual thought, and that's honestly what I feel is the superpower of my family. Most specifically, my sister and myself. We're also spiritual. And I feel like we've gained from the best of both worlds. Let's talk about my mum's spiritual side a little bit more. So my mum's family is from Gujarat. And if you guys know anything about Gujarat, you'd know that there's a lot of spiritualism generally in that part of the country. People are extremely God-fearing. People are good in their heart. They have a sense of community. Now, in the long-term story of Gujarat, there's been many of these little sects of spirituality, what they call line of gurus. And these line of gurus obviously have their section of followers. Now, when we talk about gurus, most people think, oh God, man, oh my God, that's such a negative term. These photos placed behind me or the podcasts I have recorded in my room, I had a photo on my desk which is of one of those gurus from the sect that my mum's family follows. That guru's name was Bapuji. Please don't hold prejudices when you're listening to this podcast. Just listen to my experience of it. Not all God men are the way the media portrays God men to be. You can't generalize. There's good ones and there's bad ones. This particular God man or guru was what I call my first guru in life. The word guru literally translates to the person who brings you closer to the light. That's what Bapuji was for me. I had a dark, angsty, angry childhood. I used to get in fights. I was very naughty. I didn't want to study. Lots of temper issues. Now, because my mum's family followed Bapuji, I'd actually go to my mum's ancestral home and spend time with him when he was visiting Bombay. I experienced a very early form of meditation back then with him. Every time I'd enter the room that he was sitting in, I'd feel a lot of peace. And somewhere in my heart, I felt, just like in the X-Men, you know, when someone wants to talk to Dr. X, Dr. Xavier, they talk through their mind. I used to feel like I used to talk through my mind with Bapuji. Something so crazy that my 14-year-old head, my 13-year-old head, my 10, 8-year-old head couldn't believe was true. I'll tell you why I felt like this. Because often after meditating, at the end of my meditation, my mom would say, okay, now ask him what you want. And I'd think about it in my head. Okay, I want this. I want that. And depending on what I wished for, he'd look back at me and give me a smile. And I felt like his smile contained a lot more information than just happiness. I felt like he was saying more through his smile. I specifically remember this one time where I'd done really badly in my exams and my mom had taken me to meet him. She made me meditate. And for some reason, after that meditation session, in my heart, I wanted to look up at him. And I didn't want to ask him for better marks in my exam. I asked him for one thing. In my mind, I said, I know you can't give me better marks. That's not in your hands. But you can give me the ability to work hard. The moment I finished saying that sentence in my head, his eyes opened. He looked at me. He smiled. And in his smile, I felt that he was saying, yes, that's what I want you to ask. I wanted you to ask me this. That's what you should be wishing for, the ability to work hard. Later on in life, I studied about Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee had this amazing quote that I actually thought of getting tattooed on my body at one point of time. The quote is this: ask not for an easy life, ask for the strength to endure a difficult one. That's the definition of prayer for me. You don't ask for specifics. You ask for the ability to endure whatever's thrown your way and trust your abilities enough to achieve those specifics yourself with or without prayer. But with knowing that God or the universe, some higher power is looking after you.